It's the National Football League on EA Sports. And up next, we'll see the veteran Jonnu Smith. He's going to be a busy man in the passing game. It's the Dolphins and the Texans, and it comes your way next.
Welcome in, everyone, to this presentation.
season when you're in playoff contention. But for those who aren't, this is where you have an opportunity as a player to extend your career. Get invited back to training camp next season. A lot of teams' years are made at the end of the year, and a lot of individual players' careers are made down the stretch here in these final couple weeks.
Jason Sanders ready to get a start. And off we go from Houston. And we will not have a run back here. It's a touchback and will come out to the 20-yard line. The Texans come out with the Rookie of the Year from last year in the NFL. C.J. Stroud, he was the number 2 overall pick out of Ohio State. Greg, a talented quarterback here.
You could certainly make the case, Mike, that he had one of the best rookie seasons by a quarterback in NFL history. Not so much just his personal play, but he has completely rejuvenated that Houston Texans locker room and that Houston Texans organization. It was incredible watching him as a rookie. Tell you what, though, I think he's even more capable here in his second year under center.
They face second down and 7.
He's been open all day.
It's Joe Mixon. And he will not get away. Terrific open field tackle. Gets him down behind the line.
I think this play is a direct result of his film study. He knew exactly where that ball was going before the play was snapped, and that play recognition, it separates a lot of guys in this league and results in a negative play.
And this ball incomplete on third down.
This offense has to find a way to be better on first and second down, Mike. Living in these third and long situations, must pass, is not a recipe that their offensive coordinator wants to operate in.
On fourth down, Stroud has taken in.
Coaches love to come out early in the game and establish a very aggressive approach. But I'm just not sure, Mike, if at this point in the game they needed to make this decision. I'm going to be very curious to see, does this come back later in the game to bite them?
The Dolphins come out on offense, and the lefty, Tua Tagovailoa. He led the NFL a year ago in passing yardage. Hard to believe this is season 5 already from Alabama. Greg, Tua, 26 years old, and his time is now.
Really solid all-around performance last week, Mike, and I think the biggest factor that led to the win is his ability to continue to protect the football. He executed the offense, ran it exactly how they designed all week in practice. Earth-shattering performance statistically. They got the win. If he can continue to play that style of ball, it's going to be a tough group to match up.
Look right here, one time.
They'll come up here on second down and 5. Man in motion here is Washington. Fake the head. Now, Tua. To the left side and taken in by Smith. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up third down. A shotgun snap for Tua. And he'll just have to throw this one away. There was nowhere to go downfield. Dolphins are out to an early 3-0 lead.
And I think this is going to end up being considered a successful drive, Mike. I think obviously you would have loved to see them come down and convert and score a touchdown. But at the very least, they needed to come away with 3. They were able to do that and take a lead on that field goal.
And this will be a touchback, but per the new rules, since the ball hit in the landing area, the drive does start at the 20-yard line. The drive begins at the 20. Here's 1st and 10.
On the quick, right?
They'll begin on the ground, and here's Mixon. And this will be a Texans first down. He gets it up past the 30 to the 32.
And a nice pickup there by the back with an explosive run play. And it's important to point out, Mike, his offensive play caller, he's still working off that opening script. It doesn't necessarily have to just be the first possession. Using formation, using run game and pass. Unmask the defense and understand what calling as the game unfolds. You know, there's a fine line between trusting your arm and having a little bit too much faith in your arm, right? I think this was one of those situations here, Mike, where there was nowhere to go with the ball. He tries to fit that one in there anyway, and he's lucky that it just falls incomplete.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10.
Run it up the gut.
From the gun, here's Stroud. He'll get rid of it and complete it. And they'll hold him to a gain of just a couple and sets up 3rd down.
All right.
Yeah, let's put 6 on the board, fellas. Let's go.
From the shotgun, C.J. Stroud. A short throw pulled in by Schultz. Nice job there defensively to keep him in front of the marker. It's going to bring up 4th down. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. Athletic training staff looking at him, so we'll step aside. Schultz is the motion man. They'll go. Stroud. This is hot. He got the connection to Collins. And he will have that 1st down. Taking a chance here early in the game. They convert on 4th down.
One of the easiest ways to negate these really good pass rushes in the NFL, Mike, is just to simply get the ball out of the quarterback's hand as fast as possible. Sometimes it's by design, sometimes it's based on need. Really nice job there by the quarterback. Get into the hands of his receiver and then see what he can do after the catch.
The screen works for 10 yards and a 1st down.
They've done a nice job spreading the defense have to account for as many different weapons as possible here early. But think back to our conversation with this coaching staff, Mike. They identified this guy as someone they needed to get involved early and often, so that might be his first target. I don't think it's going to be his last.
That's a gain of 11, and they'll move the chains with another 1st down.
There's this misconception out there, Mike, that in the NFL, you have to run the same amount of run plays as you do pass plays. And as you're seeing in this drive, you can fall on one side of that coin a little bit more as long as you're able to remain effective and efficient. So far, their passing game has dominated here early, and that last pickup leads to a 1st down.
That's 13 more on that play, and quickly another 1st down.
The goal of every offense, Mike, is to find a way to establish a balance between the run and the pass. With some success here early on the ground, will open up things as the game unfolds.
He's in. Joe Mixon. Touchdown, Houston. Touchdown, rookie number 13 on the season.
When you start talking about the qualities of a top top-tier back in the NFL, Mike, we all talk about size, speed, the ability to keep your feet, the ability to have balance at contact. But the part we don't talk enough about is patience, understanding the blocking scheme, the timing, when to hit the hole, as much as what hole to hit. And I think you get a great example of that. Comes together, takes advantage of the scheme, and actually offenses have the
And so after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn to kick it off. And no return here, but since it did hit in that landing area, per the new rule, the ball only comes out to the 20-yard line. The Dolphins offense ready to see what they can do on their second possession. Trail by 4, touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Tua. And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver even knew what was going on. It's incomplete.
They just rushed that decision just a little bit downfield. I mean, it's one thing to trust your guy to make a play in tight coverage, but I think if he was a little bit more patient in his progression, there was an easier throw out there that wouldn't make him have to throw such a tight window ball and put his receiver in a tight spot.
The second down throw is incomplete.
He decides to go with the safe throw and throws it well short of the sticks. And at this level, Mike, you just can't miss layups like that.